What's up? This pen doesn't work well. That's my support. Who is this paper? Have you ever had it where paper doesn't like this paper doesn't like to be written on? Maybe it's just old paper. Usually, I feel like that doesn't really happen, but I feel like a lot of times, oftentimes, when I write on this paper, I don't know if it's like the air it's been exposed to or whatever, but it doesn't like to like keep the ink flowing. That's a message. I don't know why we're talking about this. Um, but yeah, let me introduce myself. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? So I can pour me some tea so I can drink my tea because I'm a little hungry. And I got tea for this journey. Okay, so welcome. If you don't know, welcome to Embodied Spirituality. My name is Ashante Marie, and this is a place where we are going to be having a conversation with Spirit, where Spirit has a message for you, me, and thee. Okay, um, welcome to my side of the universe, where I like to do what I like to do over here. Any disclaimers I want to get into today? Today, the only disclaimer I think I want to put out there is that I do cuss. That happens. So, adjust respectively wherever you need to go. Um, but if you're down with how I get down, stick around. I don't know why we're out here rhyming today, but probably because rappers was like a part of the energy for today. So I was just on here yesterday, and I was really excited to get back here really soon today. Um, yeah, that was my introduction. 2:22 o'clock. I said my name. The title. What is the title of this video, girl? Because when I promise you, this title, first of all, it's changed. Can we just give praise to glory to be, glory to be, glory be to the Most High? Okay. Um, yeah, we only deal with the Most High around here. I do use the word God. I used to say those disclaimers before. It's funny that I don't say it now. And maybe at some point I'll say it again. But I'm somebody who uses the word God. I would, and I had to break up with that word for a while because I needed to search out what I really meant when I said that. And now that I am a better place and I have been, you know, on this path for a really long time, I feel like I'm able to use the word God now and it doesn't cause any disconnection. But if the word God makes you feel a little bit, feel free to replace it with, the universe, source, the most high, um, you know, kind of whatever works for you. Yeah, whatever works for you. People are using like Abba now, like, yeah, whatever works for you. Um, I think the other disclaimer I want to maybe throw in there for 11 on the clock, which may be for real because those be the knives numbers, okay? Um, it may get a little spicy, okay? I already told y'all because it may get a little spicy today. I feel like the nature of some of the stuff that I may have to talk about today may get this little energy heightened. But I did want to give thanks for this good old teapot. God creating these flowers, the honey, and all the other things that needed to be so that I can have this beautiful hibiscus tea. I'm not about to drink all of this tonight. I'm gonna save some of this. But look how delicious. Doesn't it look so nice and dark and yummy? Okay. Before I start spilling it. Okay. Happy fall. It's October. We're so excited. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. It's October and like I don't know what's coming this month. I don't know what's like manifesting this month, but it feels like it's an exciting month. Like I don't know. I'm just amped. I'm juiced. I'm like we out here, we're doing it, we're about it, we're excited. That's how we got into this title. I got money in the bank. Hey, Shawty, what you drank? I got money in the bank. Hey, Shawty, what you drank? I got money in the bank. Shawty, what you think? I got money in the bank. I got money. I got money. I got money in the bank. Hey. Okay, that's the vibe we're on a little bit, you know? A little bit, a lot of bit. Um I was afraid of like putting too much honey. And it's like right there. Not on the too much honey part, but right there in terms of like have just enough. It doesn't feel too sweet at all. Like my first sip, I was like, is it sweet enough? But really, it is. Mm-hmm. Because it's gonna keep developing. Um. Anyways, so yeah. First of all, I don't know how much I've listened to that whole song, but I guess it's by a Little Scrappy. I had to look it up. I had to Google it. It's okay. Um, and if you didn't, cool, good for you. I'm glad you know that song. I got money. Shorty, what you got? Hey, hey, Shorty, what you? I got money in the bank. Shorty, what you think? I got money. I got money. And I was really excited. Actually, let's get into that. Gratitude, 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 gratitude. I was really excited because, like, just to be transparent, because we all be out here living this life, okay, sometimes. And as I'm like working on elevating, elevating my abundance mindset, I can share with you, my journey too. And, today was like rent payment day. And we'll get into more of the details later. But um, yeah, I was like, things had to happen to happen to happen to happen, but I just got rent paid. You know what I mean? And then, of course, I have like a threshold alerts on that account. So it's like, oh, if your account is under a certain amount, which I want to raise the threshold because I need to like just, again, raising your expectations. Isn't that one of the first thing on here? Raising my expectation. Like I had a lower threshold because I'm like, okay, if it stays within this, then I know I can like wiggle room. But I'm like, now that because that was my threshold probably like a couple 2 years ago or something like that. Like raise my threshold to something else, one, so that I can just like think at a higher, elevated, more like level. Like why? You know what I mean? Like I hope that's making sense. Like I'm not. I don't feel like I need to over explain that part too much. And we'll talk about some other parts of that or around that a little bit more later too. But so I had an alert come in that was just like, okay, you're under your threshold. But it was like a cool number. So it was like, so say it was, I'm about to use the time right now. It's like 9:40 on this clock and whatever. So it says 9:40. Say it was 9:40 or 94:49, right? Because that's like it was like an inverse number, right? Um, and and I was just like, these numbers look really cool. Plus, it says on 10/1/2025, and it was like the one and the one, and I was like, cool, you know. And just looking at the numerology, and it's like, girl, like one, I'm just grateful I still have money in the bank. you know? Like that's number one. But we're about to elevate it too, which is also exciting. Number two. Okay. Um, and it's gonna be the best. We the best. I got money in the bank. But I was just really excited. You know why? Because like not everybody does have that too. So, I can be all in my feelings like, ooh, I really don't have that much money left. Because I was a little bit for a hot second. For a hot second I was in my feelings because I'm like, okay, well I can't spend any money like for 2 days until I make some money. And even that it's gonna be like we gotta set up for these other bills. Um, but yeah, I was in the fields for like a hot second because I'm like, what? I really like. I had plans for tomorrow. Like one, I already moved one of my appointments because I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna have funds for it like that tomorrow. And it was okay. I knew I was like kind of playing it close. So I just moved it to next week, which is fine. You But then I was like, okay, well, maybe I'll go skating, whatever. I don't know. And that's a long story. But I was like, okay, maybe I'll go to the store. Maybe I'll grab me just like a couple of things. Like, not even trying to go to the store and buy hella shit. Like I'm going to go get some carrots. I want to go get, like, I don't know, some other stuff. And, oh, yeah, and like some beets. Like, I wanted some carrots and like some beets, right? And so I'm like, you can't do that shit tomorrow either. Like, I mean, technically, I could probably like squeeze by and give me some carrots and some beets if I really need it like that. But I'm not in that like pressed of a state where I need the carrots and the beets tomorrow. I just need to utilize the shit that I already have. Again, access your resources. Like a lot of times, we be in this space of like we don't have. No, you have access to something. You have access to something, and a part of that is you have access to help. You have access to help. So another like, you know, the dance of working on this abundance mindset, right? Like it's not always gonna be like just think positive, just be grateful. Like it is that in so many ways, but it's also like you're going to feel the contrast. You're gonna feel the contrast. So it tells you how to look for better, how to aim and focus on better. You know what I mean? And so like this morning when I woke up, I had, so much. And when you do like, I don't want to call it like gig jobs, but when you do a job where people are paying you at different times, like, so it's not like I work at a company and it's going through a company and so I get a paycheck every 2 weeks, like at a certain time. Like, no, I get paid sporadically. People are on like daily, some people are on like weekly, some people are on like monthly. So it's a little bit, and it's like a little loose, right? Because some people's lessons frequencies are different, all that stuff, right? So in that you gotta play in the flow for real, bruh. You know. Um, and so I was like expecting everybody to kind of settle, their stuff by yesterday because it was the end of the month. And I was missing quite a few payments. And so when I woke up this morning, I was like, bruh, from what I'm supposed to have for my rent to what I have in my account, what it looks like right now, those two aren't aligning. Those two aren't aligning. But I have did some calculations or whatever. And I was supposed to, like, if these certain people settled up today, um, rent should be solid, right? So I was like, I really don't want to have to like, but you got to do what you got to do when you're a business person. So I messaged people this morning like, hey, can you, And most people were like, "Oh yeah, I'm sorry," and like it was pretty much like three people that needed to, and then I knew I was gonna work some more today, so I was gonna get whatever those were from the people who I know pay at a certain frequency. And so mind you, this Hamza is behind me. Okay, we are protected over here in this space. Um, mind you, so I'm like, the three people paid me, but it was kind of like a little bit through the day, a little bit. So like one person, I was like, okay, one person, I'm like, okay, okay, I just wait. If this person, then this person, then we should be right. We should be close. And when I tell you, I like did the math like several times today, and of course, like when certain people pay me a certain way, I have to instantly transfer. So that is a fee too. So I have to like calculate that in too. So playing the game. But when you play the game of like, I like to circulate money, that's a part of circulating money. You got to do some calculations. You got to juggle a little bit. You got to go one place, here, there. So, anyways, whatever. But it was giving me anxiety too throughout the day. But I was just like, just trust, just trust. And that's where I had to get to the other day. I probably could have even slightly been in a better place today had I changed my mindset 2 days ago. Because I was feeling a little like, oh, I'm not really sure, and I was just like in not the best place when I was thinking around money, and I talked to you guys a little bit about that. But I was just like, I needed to like lock back in. I needed to lock back in to like trusting that everything is gonna work out. Like everything is gonna work out. Like everything is gonna work out. Number one. Okay. Number two, it's always worked out. Ashante, you pray. Like I be like, and like the bar, exactly like I said, I need to raise my expectation. But the bar, it had been like, I had set the bar kind of low. You know what I mean? And I think that happened, and it's just residual. I don't know why residual wants to come up a lot, but I think it's residual effect of, you know, before I even had my place, I was in a space of like, well, I really want to move out. I wasn't, I didn't really know how I was going to do it. You know what I mean? And I was praying really hard and I was trying to do like the manifestation stuff and like script and like visualize. And a lot of times, the times that I would like to visualize the most would be when I was cleaning. If I was like washing dishes at my mom's place when I was living there, I would be like, oh, like I'm watching it, like, and especially if you're in that space of in that complaining, because that's what we're working on. Isn't that on the focus list, bruh? God, mm. Complaining and judgment. That was a piece of like something that I'm supposed to be like really focusing on and clearing up within myself too. But it's so interesting to when you gauge like how much we can complain and be like, or whine or whatever. Um, and like, how much does that need to be human nature? Like, I think they do sell us on lies of being like, oh, it's just human to feel that way. And I'm like, yes, I can feel the contrast, but I also like, can't I just have a better mindset around certain things so that so that it doesn't feel like that, you know? Mm. Or that deep, or that deep to where it's like putting me into a freaking tailspin. Um, anyways, so third payment came in. I was like, okay, great. I'm like, I'm a little shy. I have one payment coming in from this parent. We did this, one lesson, and I'm like, okay, great. Um, and And um, the mom was just like, she's really good at like, I'm gonna pay you today, so that she doesn't forget. And so she was like, just tell me how much, because of the situation, of not this situation, but she she was doing a drop off, so the dad was gonna pick up the daughter pretty much, and so she was just like, let me know how long the second half was, and I was like, all right, bet. She was like, so I can take care of that, and I was like, all right, bet. So I sent her the text message before I left the city. Then by the time I got home or whatever, and like been here for a little bit, I'm like, okay, it still hasn't come in. And I'm like, it's okay. She had the kid drop off. She was able to like go and be a mom and take care of like a person without having to be so focused on being a mom at that moment. So I'm like, maybe she's taking her a bath. Hopefully she is. Lo and behold, she's probably really working, just working in peace. And if that works for her, good for her. You know what I mean? Everybody needs what they need when they need it. Okay. Um, so was waiting for that, but I'm like, I need to get this rent out. Like it's getting late. It's like almost. It was like heading into the 9 o'clock hour and p.m. And I'm like, I gotta get this out. Like I gotta get this out. Like I don't want to work out. I don't want to record this video. I don't want to do whatever until I fucking get this payment out. Okay? Because I do like having a place to stay. Okay? Okay? Jesus. Okay? So, and I am so grateful for it every day. Okay. So please help me, help me, help me, help me. So, anyways, I got home and I was like, all right, I'm a little shy. And then like even if that person sent the payment and I like sent it automatically, I was still gonna be like $50 shy. And I'm like, ooh. And like if I really wanted to be, in the I can do all of this by myself sort of situation or mindset, like I do have a backup one bill in the back, okay, that I could have deposited to make everything fit, right? But then there's also this energy of like one, and that like another thing that I've been or working on is like practicing asking for help when I need it. Like it doesn't need to get into the disparity zone before I ask for help. It doesn't need to get there. You know what I mean? And like earlier this week on Monday, it was kind of there for some other shit, you know? And, you know, even though I'm trying to hold out hope, even though I'm like, okay, just be creative, do what you can do. I'm like, Lord God, I don't know. What am I supposed to do? So even with that, like that's gonna shake itself out. I'm gonna have some more conversations and it's gonna be all right. Like it's gonna be all right. Like it's gonna be all right. And it's like not the fucking like I swear that money pulls us into this tailspin of feeling like it's the end of the world. And I think that is crazy. And it's because of all of these like monetary expectations like from society. It's like, okay, if you do this, you gotta, and like these fucking taxes, that's really what the fuck this shit is. If this was really like, okay, we were just being able to do whatever, like make our money and move and groove, we probably wouldn't be in this fucking tailspin. But it's this extra like we gotta charge commission on this, we gotta charge extra taxes on that, to where you're like, hold the line, and don't get it twisted. I appreciate as somebody who appreciates the government and the things that happen, that make the world run. I like my potholes being filled on the street. Okay, you know what I mean? So I get that. But some of this stuff, these like insurances that you're paying like fucking $100 here, something dollars there, like monthly shit that you never get any return on. Like you only get a return on if something happens, and that still is only under that year's coverage, but you've been paying into this shit for probably 6, 7, 15 years. Where is that going? To the other people. So yeah, anyways, I'm gonna digress from that for sure. For sure. But money could pull people into tailspins, and it's pulled me into plenty of tailspins, and it's pulled my people into tailspins. It's historically pulled so many of my people into tailspins. Like, that's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. Like, we should be able to live off the fat of the land, period. And like, we can in certain areas, but like, you also, you have to create that. And depending on where you came from and what society you're growing up in, like if you started off in a more rural, I don't want to say third world, but like rural, you know, situation, then you, I don't know where it's going with this. I'm so sorry. I lost my train of thought for sure. My train of thought just went so out the door. Because all the political correctness, Jesus Christ. What day is it? It's Wednesday. Somebody's rolling their garbage cans out. That's all I had to check. But it's the first of the month, so it's not my get up, get up. It's the first of the month. Bone Thugs and Harmony, right? Oh, just as a side note, we're going on tangents real quick. We'll get back into the commercial break. That's what's happening right now. Commercial break. Um, Little Scrappy. I looked up, the song "I Got Money in the Bank," and I was like, "Oh, it's Little Scrappy," and I was like, "Okay," and I was like, "Oh, I didn't know that," and I was like, "Wait, let me." Because sometimes I really don't be paying attention to like mainstream media. Sometimes, like I watch some stuff, like I've seen him on shows, but do I remember that his name is Little Scrappy? I'm sorry, but I appreciate you, sir. And then as I Googled him and I was like, oh, that's him. Of course I know who that guy is. And he made that song? I didn't know he made that song. And then I watched the video. So that was fun. Had a little vibe moment. Um, but when I Googled him, his birthday said January 19th. And I said, we're birthday twins? We're birthday twins. That's so exciting. That's so exciting. With Capricorn, I'm like, woo. That's a character. And I know I'll be one. I know I'll be one. Okay. Um, Bro, I have so much to say. It's so funny. I feel like I'm like, okay, I don't have as many notes as what I did yesterday, so this video shouldn't be as long. But I'm like, so many things to say. Um, Asking for help. That's what we're getting into. So I was like, yeah, I need to ask for help. My thigh is itching. Um, I was like, all right, well, if I just ask me madre, my mom, thank God I have her to help me. All these people are gonna be like, you get help from your, yes, I do. But I try not to too much. But I'm like, also like, why not? Like, why not? Like, why are we even like, why are you judging me, bro? Bruh, I'm grateful that I have a mom that can. And like, if anybody is hating on that in real life, it's just because they wish that they had it in the real life. There's no person who's really gonna be like, no, I don't wish that. No, you do. If it didn't come with no like crazy weird strings attached to it and it was really just given out of love and care and compassion, who? Why would you want to turn away that? You know? And also like there's this whole sentiment behind, when you don't ask for help, you're taking away somebody else's blessing. Like somebody is meant to bless somebody else. Somebody is meant to bless somebody else, but if you don't ask them, say, hey, excuse me, can you just a little, you know? Um, or even do you have like options, um, or advice, that gives people, I mean, and then that's an example. 30:03 on the clock. That's an example. If you like have somebody that you talk to, maybe regularly, maybe not regularly, but like if you're just like, hey, can I ask your opinion or can I ask your advice? People are so proud, so happy, so overjoyed, so honored for somebody to be like, oh, you want my opinion? Oh, you value me so much or my opinion in this region, this area, this topic so much that you asked me specifically. That gives them life. It's given me life. I've seen it give other people life where it's like, I really have a question. And then when they can answer it for you, they're like, oh, that's the same thing as asking for help and somebody helping you. Like advice, help, we're just expanding it out into like the more material world, you know, and that's okay. That's how it's supposed to go. So yeah, I asked her. I called her and I was just like, and plus I'm about to give it right back. Like I'm literally waiting for this mom, was waiting for the mom to send it to me, and then I'll make some more money in a couple of days, and then I'll just like settle up that with her, and like, but I don't have to run to no bank in the middle of the night and try and deposit stuff and pray that things clear to clear to clear. No, called her. We talked about other stuff first, and then I was just like, hey, BT Dubs, can you help? And she was like, all right, bet. Da, da. And I was like, all right, bet. Da, da. Sent the rent off. Now I feel like I can breathe. Now I know I get to stay in this good old juke joint a whole nother month, okay? And counting, okay? We're excited about this. We're grateful for this, okay? I feel honored. I feel honored, okay? Um, so this is what brings me into being the current manifestation of something that you prayed for, right? So not the whole being in this like tight little spot, but being in my own place, and I've talked about this before, like that is really a big thing for me. Like that was really a big manifestation. I was, and it's so weird because if I was in from a freaking different culture, me staying with my mom as long as I stayed with my mom would have not even been looked at weird in any sort of capacity. And especially being unmarried. Do you know what I mean? But because whatever, this society that we live in, or the society that I live in, this California dreaming world where everybody is just supposed to have it like that, you know. Um it's like you have these pressures and because the culture isn't the same. um like I'm sorry, my brain is just going through so many things. um I had people who are like, oh, you're 30, what, living with your mom? Like, oh, she's still living there. And mind you, like my sister, is 10 years older than me. When she had, she moved out. Well, and like she had been, we had all stayed up together at the house after she had my nephew. But she had been on her own before, just with, or with other people. And I've been out before too. So it's not like I had like never been out. But not in the sense of like I want my own place. I need to finance my own place by myself. Um, versus like having a partner where we're sharing the rent or having a roommate where we're sharing the rent. Like, no, I wanted my own. At this point in the stage in the age game, I was like, and I've done roommates. I've lived with a boyfriend. Um, like I've checked those boxes, in some capacity. So I'm like, I really wanted to have the experience of living on my own because I never had. And I needed to adult enough. Do you know what I mean? Like I needed this experience of me needing to adult enough. And I think that that's really what people were trying to get me to do, but it's also like, again, not everybody goes like if I was like Asian, or if I was like, I don't know, some other culture that believed it, like maybe even Jewish, like nobody would be tripping. People would be like, of course you're with your mom. Of course. Until you're married, like, and even then, being more communal. And I think that that's like something that I still like, although I wanted my separation, I still long for, and I want us to then like to practice coming together, to practice living on a land together, more because I believe in community. Um, and I believe in living off of fat of the land. So I do believe in like, but you have to, yeah, establish community, and you can do it other places, but I do want what I want, and it doesn't need to be like all year long, but I do definitely want it to be something. So as I was washing dishes earlier today, I was listening to a video by, and if you don't listen to Ayanda, which is like Ayand, Astood. Um, she um, she is really good. She be having messages, and so I was like even a little hesitant to click on her today because I was like, am I ready to receive? Ooh, ooh. Am I ready to receive? Right? Oh, this is a bar. Come on, God. Come on, Spirit coming through for this message. And so I clicked it. The reason why I'm pausing, we're about to get back to this. The reason why I'm pausing is that I pulled some cards a little bit before just to kind of like get some cards for me, but kind of just, it felt like it was a little, some of it was going to be a little connection to this video. And show enough, show enough. The second two cards that I got was You Are Being Helped, right? And which was talking about you're being helped by like the heavens, like your ancestors are helping you, the divine is helping you, you're being set up, like you are being helped. They are behind the scenes working in your favor, okay? And then the last card that I got, and I was even like, oh, was let yourself receive. You're being helped and let yourself receive. Lord. Jesus. Oh my God. Thank you. So I was like, am I ready to receive this message? Am I ready to receive this gift? Going back to the video. And I was like, I can do it today. So I clicked on it, right? And of course, it doesn't disappoint at all. It is the best. It was like, girl, have me stomping. Okay? I said, girl, oh. Bro, I'm about to listen to that video again. So I was washing dishes, and one of the things that she had brought up was like, you are the current manifestation. Oh, and she just had so many messages around that, right? Like, so good. I definitely need to listen to that message again. I may have to even like link it or something. But being the current manifestation of something you've prayed for. Like you are walking in it, you're standing in it, you are breathing in it, like you are in it. And as I was standing washing dishes, I was like, girl, it's 10:11 on the clock. Girl, you said it 111. You're washing dishes in the apartment that you like. You didn't even know what this shit looked like before. You only like imagine, okay, standing in front of a sink, washing the dishes, knowing that it's all on me. Ain't nobody about to come up and fucking put the dishes away or dry them off or none of that shit. It's all on me, you know? Like every now and again, if I have a party, somebody may help out, but this is mine, you know? Um, and I'm just like, wow, like that really is big. Like that really is big. Like that really is big. And so just knowing that as I think about and as I want to manifest what I want next, like knowing that one, I'm gonna be able to step into it. Two, how fucking exciting is that? How exciting is that? I couldn't have, like, and I was thinking even before I was washing dishes, I was like, oh, I'm so glad I have like purple curtain. Like right here, I have like my gray and my blue because it goes with like the theme of this one. But in the other room, I have like purple curtains, so the gray part would be. I can't do this camera thing. There you go. The gray part, right, is like a lilac purple, and then like this like sheery part is like a marble of like blue and purple and pink. So when I do open my blinds, because I get some sun in there at certain times of the day, when I do open my blinds, when I have it on the pink, it kind of puts that aura in the room. If I need it to be more calm and relaxing, I just open the blue side a little bit more, and then it's like that, you know. Pink is like my warm and fuzzy, hold me, warm and fuzzy, hold me, color side. But I was just like so grateful that I have that, and I was like, one, like taking time to make your spaces, reflect what you wanted to reflect, and that like that little bit of having like a different color curtains helps pull me out of my you know moments of not feeling the happiest. Color really does excite me. Color really does bring me joy. So I'm really grateful for it, and that I'm also keeping my spaces reflective of that. um, I think my aesthetic is going to shift slightly as I grow, but only a little bit, bruh, because we like it here. We like it here. This is gonna change for sure. But anyways, I don't even know why we got all the way into that. Outside of the fact that grateful that I am, you know, my current manifestations of my dream, current manifestations of dreams that I once had, right? And I also put in the description box, you're your ancestors' wildest dreams. And that is true. That is the truth. And like, again, people always want to say that Black people's like existence started from slavery, but it didn't. Okay. Um, it's interesting though, because it's like when I think about them being on their homeland, in their tribe, did they want something else? But did they not want something else too, just because of exposure? 4404, or lack of exposure. I don't know. But anyways, we could take it as close as my mom. Okay. We don't have to even take it to like my grandma, my grandma's grandma, or none of that. Like, granted, my mom manifested what she needed to manifest for what she needed to manifest it for. Okay. So credit to her. And I wouldn't be here without her. Um, but, me moving out opened up a time where this is literally the first time that she's lived by herself. Because a lot of other people in my family have either moved out. People move out either with boyfriends or girlfriends or partners or whatever of whatever sort, and or they do that, and then maybe they have their kid or something if they don't have that. And so it's not actually many people that I felt like in my family had, except if they were older, had their own places, um, in these like 20s, 30s. Everybody kind of lived with people or, partners, So for my mom, even, and she's always wanted that too, like imagine raising two daughters, um, and a lot of other like additional family people, and just caring for them and not like raising them like they were all in the house like that, but just like being an important instrumental person in so many people's lives. Um, Not having lived, like, could you imagine not having lived by yourself this entire time? So just as long as I've been on my own, I do have my pet, so I'm not completely by myself, okay? Um, but you know, it's new for her. It's a learning for her. It's something that she's wanted, she's manifested, but it's also different. And like same for me. It's something I wanted, I've manifested. In some moments it'd also be different. Um, but yeah, like that was a dream for her. And I'm living that. And even my sister had spoke to that the other day, and it wasn't like said in the same like tone or light necessarily, but in like a different, more roundabout way, but kind of just like, I look at you and I see that are that you're able to like take care of your rent, and like, and not just take care of your rent, but you're able to like take care of your place and like do these things and X, Y, and Z. And I was just like, that's such a good like a good reflection to get from somebody. Um, yeah. So just imagine if you want to take it like some steps further, you know, my grandma grew up with like 8 other siblings or something like that. Like they all lived with each other, you know. Um, and not to say that everybody wanted to live alone. Let's be clear too, because not everybody wants that. But being able to say what I want and think and I feel to anybody that I come across. I don't want to say it like that, but that's how it be. Um, you know, some of them had to play the game a lot more than I had to play the game. The whole like race game a little bit more in terms of like having to be all, yes ma'am, no ma'am, yes sir, no sir. Like, and I didn't have to live like that. Like, I didn't have to live like that. Um, yeah, the fact that I'm like creative and a figure skater, even. Like, do you know? I wish I knew, because I never really, I think, had a chance to ask her, or if I did, I was just really too young to remember. And my mom or my great aunt had told me something about like my aunt had or my grandma had skated a little bit, but like I don't think like skated, like, but like went skating or something, um, like a couple of times, when she was younger. But I know that before I even started to skate, my grandma used to watch figure skating on TV. Um, and I remember, and I told this story before, and I'll probably tell it again so many times in my life. Um, But I used to be like, Grandma, how can you tell what they're doing? Like everything looks the same. Like all the jumps to me was like they just go up, they rotate, they go up, they rotate, they go up, they rotate. She was like, you have to watch their feet. You'll know what they're doing if you watch their feet. And it's one so funny and so true. It's so funny, it's so true. Like how true that is too. But like just thinking about all the hours that she sat and watched figure skating. She really used to like ice dancing a lot too, but just how she may have even like imagined and wished and dreamt that she could do something like that or do that. And like I be doing that. Like I may not be an Olympian, but I'll be out here doing some stuff. You know what I mean? Look, God said, but I'd be out here doing some stuff. And like just to even like flow on the ice, like that is my grandmother's wildest dreams. My grandmother's wildest dreams. Maybe you own like an herb farm or something, or apothecary or something. Like maybe that was your ancestors' wildest dreams, to be able to have their own shop. They loved working with it. They maybe were like in the field and worked on land. They're just grateful that you're able to make a business out of it. Oh, I heard all that. Thank you. Um, like not only do I do it, but I was also able to make a business out of it. Thank you, Spirit. Okay. Um, yeah. Just wanted to say that. Like that's like really important there. Next thing, or kind of getting back into the other stuff, I feel like I need to be checkboxing because when everything is written in the same color, I'm like, did I talk about that? Read it again. Did I talk about that? I want to go back into raising your expectations. Okay. Um, and what I wrote underneath it was, because somewhere along the way you've lowered it, right? And so, speaking to the same instance that I was talking about today when it comes to like rent, I think because I was like, oh, I don't know if I'm ever, like back then when I was living with my mom, I was like, I'm making money, but like it don't feel like enough to cover rent and bills and bills and bills, you know? And so my like thoughts or mantra even was like, I just want to have enough to pay rent and my bills. Like I just need to have enough to pay my rent and my bills. Like I just need to have enough to pay my rent and my bills. And like granted, we're grateful that we've had enough to pay my rent and my bills. Okay. And like some of the other normal things that I always like to make sure that I have, right? But I put oil on my face a little bit before I got on here, so I look a little shiny in certain spots. I feel like that may be reason why. But yeah, so I had been saying that, and then I not only like said it just to myself, because I can like probably even alter those manifestations a lot easier. It's more so when I would say it to other people that I felt like brought down my level of expectation, or like made it lower because other people thought about it as that low, even though I may probably have meant something else in my head. Do you know what I mean? So like people have been like, "Oh, it's good. You've had your apartment like after the first year, and now we've passed our second year. Oh, you've been in your place for how long? Oh, great. That's so cool. I'm always just praying." And then me, here I go, you know, low bar. I was like, I just be, and oh, that just made me want to like, if I could spiritually get thrown up right there, that's what it would have been. 59 on the clock. Yesterday, I made a video about humility, and how sometimes like humility is not it. Sometimes humility is not it. And so me trying to be humble in the space of like I shouldn't be so audacious and be so proud of myself, about the fact that I'm able, that I did, that God helped me did what I did, but we did it together. Like feeling so not wanting to feel audacious or too confident. I like overshot my humility. Overshot my humility into, you know, I just wish that, I'm just grateful that all I pray for is that I'm able to pay my rent and my bills. I'm just, I'm just grateful I'm able to cover my rent and my bills. At the end of the month, I'm just grateful I'm able to cover my girl. If you don't stop it, if you don't stop it, if you don't stop it, if we don't stop it, if we don't stop it, okay? Cut it out. Cut it TF out, okay? Um, because one, you deserve more. I deserve more, you deserve more, we deserve more. Period. Second, there shouldn't be a limit. Why are we in this limited mindset about abundance? You could have more. And I think what it is too, and I think what made it like pull down more, because I was like, really, how did we get here? That's what I was really thinking about when I was washing dishes. How did we get here to where, like, because I feel like it's just been more of a struggle lately. I'm like, how are we sitting in this? And I think it's because, one, when I first moved out, I felt like I had to damn near fucking kill myself, you know, and I don't mean to use that word, sorry, to, let myself go in terms of like, or overwork myself, like work myself into the ground. Um, in order to make sure that I'm able to cover all the shits, where it's like, yeah, I have money to pay for the things I need to pay for, but in order to do that, I have to do double days, 4 days out of the freaking week, do another fifth day. That means I'm driving to the city 9 times a week. My sleep pattern is beyond fucked, okay? Beyond fucked. Because when you have to wake up at like 4:30 in the morning, teach until 9, 10 in the morning, maybe get home by 11 or 12, depending on if you need to run errands or go to the grocery store, right? Um, but say you get home even earlier. Say you get home at 11. Say you get even home say you left at 9, get home at 10, right? Then you come home and you're like, oh, I want to make me breakfast, or I need to clean up, or I need to send invoices, or I need to cut this music. And then so it's like, all right, cool. You have like 3, 4 hours in the middle, right? And it's like some days when you don't get sleep, it's like all you can do is try and take a nap. Try to take a nap. But 3 or 4 hours later, maybe 5, if we're really pushing our lessons out, but that means that we ain't having as many lessons. Um, but then needing to drive back to the rink by like getting in my car by 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock. Like it's usually in those 3 hours where I'm getting back in my car to drive over to the city. Then coming back home, 6, maybe 7, maybe 8. And then if it's a Monday, it's really late, like it gets crazy. It gets crazy. So then when am I sleeping? So say if it is Monday, I get home and I was doing this. I was getting home, I was done on the ice, physically on the ice at 9. By the time I got out of the rink and got to my house, it's probably 10:20. Okay, because I gotta get my skates off, pack up, you know, do the things, right? Get home, it's 10 something. I still need to eat dinner. And people are like, "Oh, well, why didn't you eat dinner during your break?" That's not this type of party. When I tell you I've been trying, like when I tell you I will bring food, I have carried food with me on Monday nights plenty of times. But because there's not, by the time that I step on the ice, I'm ice focused. You know what I mean? Like if I'm hungry or trying to eat, it's because literally I probably didn't eat. Okay. But for the most part, and you don't have that much time. It's not like, okay, I work a couple hours and I have a 30-minute break. I could if I scheduled it that way. But some days aren't scheduled like that. Some days you don't, you have the ice cuts. You have the ice cuts. So I get on the ice, I teach, there's a 15-minute ice cut. In those 15 minutes, I have enough time to use the restroom. I have enough time to maybe snack for 2 seconds. Then, but don't have no food that need to be heated up because I would have to go downstairs in my skates, come back upstairs in my skates, which is like a trek in itself. Then try and eat and digest a little bit before I have to go speak and be in these people's faces. Let alone if it's like some weird food, I definitely would be like, let me hit up a toothbrush in my mouth. Like you gotta factor that into a 15-minute break. Mind you, trying to get a breath, change your jacket. Girl, and then you do it again all the way backwards. So then you work for the couple of hours in teaching skating school. You get off of the ice, you have another 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes, depending on how you schedule. Yeah, depending on how you schedule, or what you need to fit in. And sometimes when I was like at the busiest, bro, I had 15 minutes. Okay, I had 15 minutes, and I would maybe give myself 5 extra. I'd be like, all right, guys, everybody, we're gonna start at like, instead of starting at 7:30, we're gonna start at 7:35 because Ashante needs an extra 5 minutes. Okay, because I just probably just did a lot. I just did skating school. I probably did a lot. Okay, so so. And in that, it's like still again trying to get some water, trying to use the restroom, trying to change my jacket again. Maybe I have a moment in the coaches' room with the coaches, like a moment to decompress for like a hot second hold moment. So then by the time I'm back on the ice and I teach until 9, and then by 9 o'clock I'm like, okay, well now we're here. And am I gonna sit at this rink and eat my food in this cold ice rink at 9 o'clock at night? No. If I brought food with me, no. I'm about to go home and then heat the shit up and be comfortable in my own clothes. Like I can take the clothes off. You know what I mean? So, like, I felt like I had to work myself like that in order to sustain being able to stay here, you know? And so, and I had been busy. Like, I was grateful. I was in a really good space where, I really, just in a really good space when it came to the attraction of lessons. Like, I wasn't hurting for lessons, I would say. Um, and I'm grateful because I do like my dog when I be doing it. Okay, but because I did have a big clientele, I also had a lot of deadlines. I had a lot of like, I have deadlines for this, I have deadlines for that, I have deadlines for this, and you know, it was cool. And I was building something that I didn't know that I was building. It was growing bigger than what I thought. You know, but by the time that I would be like trying to make it to the end of the year, make it to the holiday break, because I wouldn't give myself that many breaks because I have all these other deadlines that I have to attend to. Um, I would burn out and burn out hard, you know. And I had to like after doing it a couple of years in a row, you're like, okay, well, let's practice something different this time around. And even like, and it's also like partially a practice because going into this school year, like before, thinking about the summer going into the school year, I was like, oh, maybe I should put another group together. And I don't usually do a big adult, like I don't do an adult group for this time of the season. I usually do it for the turn of the new year. But I was like, oh no, because I'm in these tight spaces. I'm over here like, oh, well, let me put this like thing together. I can attract these people. I would have to promote. I would have to cut this music. I would have to pick up the clothes. I would have to do the things. I have to set up the schedule. Da, 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 right? And so a piece of me was excited about the music. A piece of me was excited about like the inspiration because I felt like God did that. And I rolled with it for a couple of weeks. But when I tell you that every time I thought about how much work came with it, I was like, oh, like, and not in a like, oh, I know this is gonna be hard and I can get over this as easy work, but it's literally like it was pulling me down. And I was like, but God, like you know that I need to be in a better place with this things. And this is the thing that I can do that I know that I can get something out of, you know? Um, while also being able to enjoy and stimulate my creativity, you know? Um, so but it just felt like there was a lot of resistance and not a good way, you know. And I think that it's important to be able to gauge when you're experiencing resistance for a good healthy reason, or if you're experiencing resistance for in a you need to go the other way sort of reason. um So I kept pushing for a couple of weeks. And at a certain point when it was like, okay, it's like a shit or get off the pot type of week, where it's like if this information isn't out, if I don't promote this, like I'm gonna be too far behind in the date. Um and they said, I'm sorry, I'm thinking about two different things. My brain went somewhere else for 2 seconds. I went straight. My brain went into a client, and like that. That's so funny. That God just like wiped me right there. That was weird. Okay, well we're gonna jump back wherever we can because my brain just went. They said nope. Don't go that way. Go back this way. Um, somewhere in the line, I lowered my expectation. Blah blah blah. Oh yeah, putting this thing together. That's where we're at. Thank you. Um, So like yeah, it was one of those like shit or get off the pot weeks. And I decided like I was just like Ashante, this is too much. Like this is just too much. Like it's not making you happy. It's really giving you way more anxiety, a lot of stress. Um, like it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good. And all like even at a certain point cutting the music wasn't feeling good. Where it's like, okay, I've cut this music. I spent hours already. I spent like probably 6, 7 hours already cutting this music, maybe a little bit more, because it was so many songs. I was cutting so many snippets. I'm trying to make sure it flows, and like I had one way, and then I was like, I needed to shuffle the end part a little bit, and I shuffled it back, and so just kind of playing back and forth with that, and I was like, oh, this is giving me, you know, I would like try and play it at the rink to see him like, okay, do I like it like that? And then I would go home and I would edit it. Girl, it was not working. And it was like, this isn't the time. Granted, this is like a kind of cool idea. We can like get behind it. Maybe there's like something else that's not quite there. Like maybe there's a key that I'm missing, you know, of this music snippet or whatever that will like seal the deal or whatever. Um, but it's also with the program being as long as I was like cutting it for, to me it needed to have a certain amount of people. Like it's not gonna work, it's not gonna resonate if it's a small group. Like we need to have like a little bit of a meaty group available. So I was just like, I just don't have time for like there's literally no time for it. And the moment that I was just like, okay, let this go. Like let this go for this season. And like one, you don't even normally do this shit for this season. It was 1919 on the clock. I was saying this. But like you don't even normally do this shit for this season. Like why are you putting like take this off of your plate? Because as I was stepping into the season, the other stuff that I normally do have to do with test sessions, competition, other competition stuff, like the soloists for these competitions. Like, girl, no, you got other shit. You got other stuff. So I let that go And I would just felt like a weight lifted off of my shoulder, right? But again, it put me in this fear of being like, well, how am I like God? Like, how am I going to pay rent if I don't do this class? Right. And so, yeah, I think even that lowered my expectations that much more of like, I don't know if I can. I don't. Now it became, I don't know if I can. Huh? It squeezed me? Disrespectful. Who is talking like that? Shut your mouth. You're gonna have to shut up. You're gonna have to shut the fuck up. Okay? Because you're being disrespectful. Who are you? Ugh. And sometimes you gotta call that energy out like that. The fuck? The fuck you mean? This one got me all the way fucked up. She got me all the way twisted. Which brings me to my say it like you said it in the booth. To my second song or my second rap. I don't know why like theme is rappers today, to be honest with you. I feel like there's a deeper message. Maybe I probably need um to sit with it a little bit more because it's such an interesting energy. Like I don't know why like rapping and rapping energy or like what people are saying in these raps, why it's important. Rhyming feels like that came up even in like a random, YouTube or not YouTube, sorry. A random like Instagram video. Somebody was dissecting and or had like a cool way of dissecting one of Jay-Z's raps. So she was like recording herself re-saying the rap, but she had like little images on top that was telling, this line is a metaphor, this line is a historical reference, this line is blah blah blah. And so I thought that was really cool, just talking about like rhyme structure and or like reference, you know. Um, and so that was like, oh, this is such an interesting post. I hadn't like come across the post like that in a minute, and just not done like that. So that was exciting. And then I had these other rap songs in my head earlier, which were gonna be the title. That's why I was saying I had different titles set for this. So before, the first title that I was like, oh, I'm about to use it was from a Ludacris song. Say it like you said it in the booth. Wait. I did say I wanted to look that up. Make you lose it too, something like that. Say it like you said it in the booth. Oh my computer is working real slow, but probably because I'm on here recording. Say it like you said it in the booth. Call ya bluff. Bluff. Let's click on the lyrics. I'll make a. Oh yeah, can't say those words. Yeah, I think that song was on the other day. Oh yeah, I see that liquor got you loose, got you loose. When you see me, say it like you said it in the booth. I make it lose when you see me. Say it like you said it in the F y'all. I'm the truth when you see me.